Okay, so some of you already know this, but Jeremy Boring, the CEO, the God King of Daily Wire, has stepped down. And actually, this has brought up a lot of mixed emotions for me. Even though I'm not an employee of Daily Wire, I certainly have been a fan for years. I've said many times that Daily Wire and PragerU have been ports in the storm, especially during COVID, where a lot of us relied on for alternative news and great content. I've spoken to Jeremy Boring personally. I've met him. I think he's a hell of a guy. I also understand that it might be the time for him to step down as Daily Wire is expanding in more relevant directions and it's diversifying. But we should absolutely be grateful for what Ben has done, what the team has done with Daily Wire. And then, of course, I had to hear Candace's perspective. I listened to it, so you didn't have to. And, it kind of put me in a mood. What I'm seeing a lot of is people that we actually have earned our respect, okay? I used to adore Candace. She was the first one to call out George Floyd, to call out BLM. Candace has incredible investigative journalistic skills. She's funny and she's witty, all of those things. So she's very likable, and we need her spirit on our side. But something happened along the way, and there are speculations with her converting to a certain sect of Catholicism, where she just went the wrong way on Israel and continues to do that. She does not apply her same standards. She has no problem criticizing the Israeli government, which is your right to do, but she has no standards for Hamas. And she talks about Christian persecution, not acknowledging how much Christian persecution has gone under Muslim rule. And that there's a reason why a lot of Christians want the Jews continuing to be in charge of Israel, because they don't kill Christians. Who's protecting Bethlehem and Nazareth and all of the important Christian sites, holy sites? It's the Jews. And the Jews are not forcing Christians to convert or be dead. We've already seen the Jewish population completely dwindle in the Arab countries, so there's no more Jews pretty much anywhere in Iraq, Syria, Egypt, Algeria. And now there's the Christian population that's dwindling, and she doesn't want to point that out. And someone else too, someone like Dave Smith, who calls himself a Jew. I don't think he was ever raised as a Jew. I think his father was Jewish, but then I think he had some issues with him not being raised by his father, and maybe there's some trauma there. I'm not judging here at all. I'm just saying Dave Smith was right about the vaccine mandate. He was great to school Chris Cuomo. We saw that. But he, as a Jew, gets it completely wrong about Israel, its history, and the situation. And he, not only that, he goes on anti-Israel, anti-Jewish platforms, who just fan the flames of terrible theories where scapegoating the Jews for everything left, right, and center. Everything is because of the Jews. And he just sits there and amplifies it. So I know one of the reasons too that Candace criticized Jeremy. Jeremy is a Christian, and he's a huge supporter of the Jews. And I know that he has gone to bat for the Jews, and he sees what's going on even within our own base. Tucker Carlson, who I also love and adore. I got to know and trust him after he covered the vaccine mandates and GH6. But when he chooses to have certain people on his show and not offer another perspective, he's amplifying the flames of suspicion. For example, after October 7th, after all these atrocities that happened to the Jews, and all innocent Israelis, by the way, but not all Israelis are Jewish. There were Christians, there were Muslims, there were everything in between. The most pro-Pali Israelis were slaughtered on October 7th. Out of all of the priests, he chose to interview from Israel. He interviewed a radicalized priest from Area A of the West Bank, where Jews are not even allowed to live, and he wanted to get his take on living with Jews in Israel. Now, how is that accurate, Tucker? Why, out of all the Christians you could have chose, all the pastors living in Israel, happily, who stand strongly with the Jews, why that priest? And why are you lumping in Israel with Ukraine? You know that you cannot even compare. Israel is a true ally. There is ROI for American companies, American citizens, not to mention that America benefits from all of the innovative technology of the Middle East, that comes from Israel, the Iron Dome, that they share with America to make America more secure. So let's be honest there. What is the ROI with Ukraine? So don't lump these two countries together. So stuff like that, So when people are watching Tucker and Candace and Dave Smith, and they have truths that they've earned respect for, why would they not believe everything else they say? And this is the dilemma. So please know that no matter who you watch, don't just follow them blindly and whatever they say goes. Please use critical thinking to any issue that's important. Because it's important that we stay true to our values, right? We want the whole picture. We don't want selective sound bites. We don't want to follow a narrative. Please do your efforts to get information and put it in the right context so you are making an informed opinion and not just listening to what sounds good and sexy and trending. So that's all I have to say, but I'm wishing Daily Wire nothing but the best.